Sugar baby. Hi. I'm vulnerable. I just want everyone in the world to know
You
that.
are vulnerable.
Everyone in the world to
What
know
are those
how
paths for
vulnerable
0?
I am. What is this? Why is this up here? That does not belong there.
No, it does not.
What up with that? This needs to go away. It says it's the right thing, but it's not. So that's inappropriate. Let's just make that go away. Window capture. Window capture. No, that is improper. Why do you keep showing the wrong damn thing? What the heck? What the heck?
You're broken.
I don't know what's going on with that.
Broken.
So I'll just talk about what we're making fun of because it's not displaying for some reason. It's weird. So someone is selling a Spider E99 for $100 or best offer.
You
A
also
Titman
need-
A5 with a 16-inch barrel, $100 or best offer. And a Titman 98 Custom for $50. Not best offer, just $50. Yeah, okay, no. For any of that. The Spider E99, $20 maybe. Titman A5, $30 maybe. The Titman 98, $20 maybe. Yeah, I don't know what this guy is thinking. Or girl. Either way, don't know what they're thinking. $100 for each one of the, or 100, 150. Ugh. This person wants $50 for. Is this a Stingray? No, it's a Titman 68 Carbine. I'm not even very familiar with what that is.
That barrel looks pretty snazzy for.
And barrels, whatever. 2 gravity fed, a CO2 tank, and an old mask that you couldn't pay me enough to wear. $50 for that? No. Just no. This person is selling a Titman 98 high performance paintball gun. Although that's what it says in the box, to be fair. He's right by us. He's in Allison Park. For $50. Included is. Oh, wait. Great condition in original box minus the barrel, plus mask, gloves, and extra hopper, cash at time of pickup. What good is a Titman 98 without a barrel? What good is any paintball gun without a barrel? This mask is, again, couldn't pay me enough to wear it. The gloves or whatever, they'll fall apart pretty quickly, but they're fine. CO2 tank's no good. 2 gravity fed hoppers. That's not worth anywhere near. That's like 20. Well, no, because it doesn't have a barrel. I'd say it's worth about $5-10 maybe. Why would you sell a paintball gun without a barrel?
I don't know.
That doesn't make any sense. It makes very little sense, if any at all. Apparently our video output is low, so people are going to experience buffering. I'm not quite sure how to fix that.
I'm worth it.
I'm not sure why that is. Not sure at all why that would be that way. But we have nothing else to make fun of. Everything else was old stuff that we've made fun of last week. So I figured what we talk about this week, and I know we've mentioned on this before, but we want to talk about what makes a good event, or what makes a bad event for that matter. And the reason that I thought this was a good thing to talk about is that over the weekend we went to the 2-man tournament at Bad Company, and we came in 8th place. We missed out on 7th because of Dalton. It's all Dalton's fault. And there were 10 teams, so we're 8 out of 10. Now the score...
We're gonna blame Dalton for everything.
not quite everything, just most things. But...
We love you, Dalton.
No, it's... No. But in any case, well, you made me lose my... What was I saying?
Sorry. You were talking about what makes a good event, and regardless of Dalton making us come in one position below.
I was mentioning that I was going to talk about the score. So, we had 360, and then 9th place had like 180. So we won, and then the next place above us, 7th place, had 380. So we greatly beat the next team down, but that doesn't necessarily come into the point that we're going to be talking about. What?
Between 3rd and 8th, we were all within 100 points, less than 200 points of each other. Like from where 3rd was to where we were,
I need to.
was less than 200, I think. Maybe 200. But that's also something we can talk about. By playing matches and comparing it to the 5-man of how we got matches, you really can turn the day around. Like, you could start out doing pretty shitty and end up coming in 3rd place.
Yes, that is true. Although definitely not true for us. It's actually exactly
we never
the
start
opposite.
out shitty.
It was exactly the opposite for us. We started out really well, and then it went downhill from there. That does seem to happen to us a lot. But anyway, so the next question becomes, well, the real question, I guess, is, did you have fun? And I would say, yeah, I had a lot of fun. Did you have fun?
I had a lot of fun.
So we had a lot of fun.
I wanted to throw up every time that 10-second warning happened, but other than that, yeah, I had a lot.
Why are you leaning out of the screen?
I'm
here?
sorry. That's just.
You don't want anyone to see you.
No, I don't. No.
Move that a little bit. It's a little too dark in here. Open that up just a smidgen. So. Yeah. So, did you have fun? Yeah. Well, we did. Despite the fact that we came in 8th out of 10th. We had a lot of fun. So, and in my opinion, and I would hope that in most people's opinions, that's really what the point of the whole event was to have fun. So, like, if you won but didn't have fun, what's the point? If you lost but you had fun, well, good. Then it wasn't a waste. You went there for a reason, and it was a good reason, and it worked out for you.
Also, even though we came in 8th, I feel we played consistently, and I think we worked well together. I thought we played well together.
Indeed. We did play. So this year had a lot more higher experienced players. Not even necessarily more experienced players than last year, which there was. But even if there was the same number of experienced versus non-experienced, the experienced players that were there were more experienced than they were last year.
There were a lot more teams last year that were young or who had never played a tournament before, and some who've barely picked up a gun before. Where I think everybody that we played against were either ranked and professional and play every weekend to people who just play every weekend. I don't think there was one amateur on the field. The only one would have been
10,000 whatever.
Oh yeah.
They were pretty.
So
they were pretty new.
Purple Panda, he had played before back in the day, the one guy. So there were 2.5 teams that weren't on a that are typically not on a field. And I say a half because there's a team parents and Joe Chrisman who I wanted to stroke his beard to take away beard power, but I was too terrified of him. Now, if he takes his mask off, he is a very nice man. There is nothing fearful about him, but you put a paintball gun in his hand and he's scary as all get out. He just scares me. The one advantage was we watched him play, and him and his wife played the exact same way.
Yeah, they were second to last for us. So we played 9 rounds, and we played against them on 8. So we had plenty of time to watch how they played, figured them out, and we did beat them. And so on that topic, they came in first place. We beat them. 100 points to they had 20. They got A-Dog out at the very end. We got both of them out. We got the flag grab, and we got the flag hang. The second round that we played of the day, the first round we won 100-0. The second round we won 100-0, and the second round was against what was their name this year? A Satchel of Richards, is what it was.
That was the first round. Satchels of Richards was the first round.
Are you sure? Huh? Okay,
We
well,
played them first.
so we played them first apparently, 100-0. They came in second place. So
and both of the guys on Satchel of Richards is on PA Mercenaries. Joe Chrisman is on PA Mercenaries. So you had 3. What? They're D3, D2. They're a D.
You guys are dicks.
But we lost to Team 3. And Team 3, the team that came in third place, lost their 2 matches. Like, they got smoked.
Hey, baby.
The first 2 matches. And then they
Band of Brothers?
Yeah.
Yeah, they came in third. We lost against them 100. Didn't we lose 100-0?
Yeah. You got out, and then my stupid vision, I swear I saw one of their players leave, but I didn't. I think it was Adam. I think Adam just walked off. They didn't leave, and there were 2 people really overshooting.
She imagined something.
I imagined something real bad.
Well, in any case, we beat the first and second place teams pretty badly, so good for us. But yeah, when we played against parents, they did do the same thing every time. So we observed it, we countered it because we knew what they were going to do, and it worked out really, really well for us. So, but back to the point at hand, we had a lot of fun, and so I know we've mentioned this before, but it's really not how you do during the game that makes it a good day or not. It's not even necessarily the success of the day. It's, did you put effort into it, and was it a good theory of a game, and did you attempt it? And in this case, they actually pulled it off really well too. It wasn't just a good attempt, it was actually a good event. But we had a lot of fun despite the fact that we didn't anywhere near win.
And from someone who's extremely competitive and who likes to win, I don't like going in not doing my best or trying to win. I had fun. I felt confident in some of the games we played. I'll let you brag about me later. But I felt good. I thought we had fun together. I thought we worked well together. And I didn't feel...
I'm not going to acknowledge the comment due to the fact that this particular person has misspelled the word there.
But I feel that if the event...
Learn how to spell, and maybe we'll read your comment.
If the event is good, and the people you're playing with work well together and are great to play with, then it isn't always about winning. As much as I would have liked to place better than 8th, I think for the caliber of players, we did pretty damn good. I'm proud of us.
Yeah. I'm getting pretty tired though of all these things where there you go. Now you spelled it correctly. This is like the third tournament I think that we've done where all of the good players and all of the bad players have been bunched together. And what I mean by that is at both this one and the 5-man woods ball tournament we did, we played against essentially the easy teams first, and then all the hard teams second. And at
okay, Minion. Hope everything's okay. He's at a funeral.
Yeah, I saw. But then the which tournament was it? Which was the reverse one?
The reverse one?
Was it Lou and me?
Well,
we played the hard teams first, and then no, it wasn't Lou and me. Which one was it where we played? It was reversed. We did the hard.
Wasn't
teams
it first. The 2-man with you and Coco? Or is everything hard then?
No, everything was hard on that one. In any case, there was another one where we played the hard ones first and then all the easy ones. And I wish it was just like a mixture. Like where, okay, you get a hard one, then you get an easy one, then you get a hard one, then you get an easy one. Later.
The way they set it up was completely random.
Yeah. Oh, it's not anybody's fault. That's just how it happened.
Unfortunately, Tim didn't control that.
Yeah, it's not anybody's fault.
But
that's just the way it happened.
Speaking of the event as a whole, it ran very smooth. It went very quickly. There was no waiting or problems. There was one issue with some hot-headedness, and I don't know what exactly happened, but there's a little bit of screaming. But other than that, everybody played well and fair. No one cheated. There's no issues. The field's always different. That's, Tim puts a lot of work in making that field, as small as it is, special. He tries to change it. He tries to make it better. He takes care of the land that it's on. He tries to come up with fun games so that it's an experience for everybody. And I think he put on a very good tournament. Also, you gotta enjoy the fact that he has his own photographer. So when you go there, you're gonna get shots of being a badass.
Even if you're not for most of the day. But everyone will think you did, or you were.
Although there's one picture of me cowering because I got rained upon, but
yeah, Jason and Adam, let's bring it down a notch.
It was Jason and Jeremy.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, Jason and Jeremy, let's bring it down a notch. Come on, gents.
Come on, Jays.
Yeah, J people. With your J names.
But I didn't see a lot of I didn't see any really overshooting. I saw a lot of paint flying from the players who are speedballers.
There was a bit of overshooting by accident. I wouldn't say there was any purposeful overshooting. I know I continued to get hit 2 or 3 times after I was already out. I called myself out. But it wasn't their fault. They couldn't see me. I was, behind something. And once they saw that I was out, it was no longer a problem. So I don't hold it against anybody.
Because Jason and Jeremy overshot me, but in in reality, the way they were playing, because of where I was, I had balls flying straight at me, and then I had Jason lobbing balls at me. And at one point, I got hit and I fell back and I put my hand up over my head. But when you're laying down and your hand goes up, no one's seeing that. And so there's that, but it wasn't purposeful. And I was joking with Jason about it, and he apologized. So, like, I don't think any of the overshooting was, yeah, like you said, there was no purposeful overshooting. And there was no hot heads, and
everyone there was just a nice group of people, which is awesome. And I would say so. Like, I had not as much fun at Black Hawk Down as we should have had. It was not as good of an event as it should have been, and we won. We won by quite a bit, Black Hawk Down.
Why?
Why did we win?
No, I know why we won. I was there. Why do you think it was not?
I was getting there.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was.
Where do you think I was going with this?
Go ahead. I'm sorry that I'm trying.
Anyway, and I think the reason is because the sportsmanship was not as good. Honestly, Black Hawk Down was probably the worst sportsmanship I've seen at a Mission Masters, maybe ever. Certainly in a long time. And there's various reasons. I think it's probably because by mission 2 or 3 we were winning so badly that they were getting annoyed and they started, overshooting and doing this, that, and the other thing, and then we retaliate, even worse, and then they retaliate even worse, and it just becomes a whole other thing. Or maybe, an accident happened, we overshot, and then they retaliate, and then who knows how it started.
There were issues.
But there were some issues. So winning certainly isn't everything, considering the 2 men that we lost was honestly, I would say it was probably more fun than Black Hawk Down. Maybe not quite more, but at least as fun as Black Hawk Down. That we won by quite a bit.
A different fun.
It is a different type of fun. And I was worried, honestly, about the 2 men once I started seeing who all the teams were. So I was not at all surprised that we lost, that we came in, as low as a place as we did. Not at all surprised by that, considering who was all there. But another thing I was kind of worried about is, first of all, I didn't know a lot of them. I knew some of the names, but I don't really know the people. Yeah, okay. What was I saying?
You know a lot of the people.
But I knew that they were speedballers for the most part. A lot of them were. And the issue with speedballers in a non-speedball setting, particularly a tournament where the ball per second cap is 15 balls per second, which honestly, Tim, you should bring that down a little bit, I think. I was worried that there might be overshooting. There might be too aggressive of a day. Because even in a tournament setting, I'm not an aggressive player. I'm not. We went through less than a case of paint between the 2 of us for all 9 games. And I felt like I was shooting quite a bit, honestly.
We almost went through a case. It was a little...
It was about 2 pods less than a case, is what it ended up being.
Because we opened 5 bags, but then we gave back a bag, so yeah.
So it was about two pods less than the whole case. By the way, what I've been doing this whole time is converting my G-Tech into the G-Mech for Saturday. Where was I going with that?
Overshooting,
but
speedballers.
there wasn't. You could definitely tell. You can tell who the speedballers are, and who the woods ball players are, or the mechanical players, anything like that. You could tell the difference. You really, really can. But it wasn't a super big issue. It wasn't. I didn't feel like anyone. I didn't feel like it was a problem at all.
This is what I enjoyed. All the speedballers that I could tell from watching that were aggressive,
Hey,
or I saw one guy, and I wouldn't call this overshooting. Unload a hopper and then another pod in less than a minute, trying to get this person out, and I was like, no. No, like that scared me. And it wasn't overshooting, and he didn't
even get him out.
He didn't get him out. It was just a lot of paint all in the same area in a very small time frame. And so the teams that I could tell were aggressive speedballers, I was like, listen, just one to the mask and I'm good. And actually, that's kind of how I got out. The one person I said that to, he hit me on the corner because my head popped up. I know, baby. I know. Lay down. Lay down. Come here. Go get it. Go get it. So I thought, that the fact that he was like, I don't think he like purposefully was like, yeah, let's do this. But I think he saw me. He took one shot. There weren't multitudes after the fact. There was one shot to my mask, and that was it.
And here's a good example of what I'm talking about. Nothing that happened that day is nothing bad that happened that day. So, but on the one game that we played against the parents. So as she mentioned, Joe, very good player. He is a ranked player, and he was you could tell he was doing all the work. His wife, or at least I assume that's his wife. I'm sure she's played. I have no doubt that she has played and maybe even does play regularly. But she wasn't doing much. She would go to a bunker and she would lay down fire.
She did.
But she didn't do a whole lot.
There was one game he got out. She made this incredible shot. Like, it was like one shot, one kill. From her hidden branches. Got him out, then got the flag. And you yelled at me for wooting her.
Because we wanted them to have as little points as possible.
I understand that. But as a woman who has seen that all women do is tear each other down, I'm rooting for the woman. I'm rooting for the fact that she took control of that.
In any case, after I got Joe out, because he took the path that I knew he was going to take, I laid paint in his lane, and he ran around. It worked exactly as I expected it would, or hoped it would. After I got him out, I went for her, and I missed her pod pack by like 2 inches as she moved. And I even heard the ref go, "Oh man, so close." So then I ran up and got above her to the, where her back was exposed to me. So she was shooting at A-Dog, had no idea it was there, and her back was completely exposed. And I took one shot at her back, got the break, and that was it. Just one shot to her. And I had at least 3 different people, at least 4 different people, because there were 3 people, and then she came up later that day, and thanking me for just taking the one shot and saying how nice that was that I would just do the one shot and not unload on her. And at every time I was like, why wouldn't I do? Who would shoot more than once at that point? It's a waste of paint. It's a waste of air. It's just rude. Why would you shoot more than once? But unfortunately, I find for speedballers, but not just speedballers, there are definitely woodsball players that are the same way. They would just like pop, 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 pop as they ran past. I don't personally like that. I don't like that style of play at all. But in a speedball setting, that's the gameplay. That's what you're used to. Especially since if it's a tournament and there's really money on the line, you're gonna want to make sure that, because that one ball may not break. So you want to take several and make sure you break, they break open. In my case, I saw it bust open as well, but there was that second of travel where I could have shot. Theoretically, I could have shot 15 more balls in that second, but I just shot the one. And so yeah, at least 4 people thanked me for just taking the one shot.
She came up to her and she was like, because when she noticed that Joe had gotten out, she's like, oh shit. And like she was afraid that you were gonna lay into her. But there's no point. Like
there's no
that's
need.
not a glorified win.
Yeah, there's absolutely no need to do that. But as evidenced by the fact that so many people thanked me and appreciated the fact that I did just do one shot, it shows that there are a whole lot of people out there that would have done that. And so that just kind of proves that my fear was justified. And it goes to show even farther that the fact that nothing happened like that, it was a good day. There was a lot of good players there, a lot of good sportsmanship, and I think that even the more experienced speedball players appreciated the fact that not everyone there plays that style, which is a big deal because whether it be on purpose or by accident, or I'm sure it's a mixture of both, but I do find that a lot of speedball players, regardless of the setting, overshoot. And I don't mean overshoot as in like, oh, you're already out, but I'm going to keep shooting you on purpose because I'm a dick. I mean, they will shoot 10 balls at you instead of 1, simply because that's the style they're used to, or whatever the reason. I remember at an open play, we were on jungle at P3, and legitimately from my foot up, I would say there was at least 6 hits. It was open play. There were like 10-year-olds on the field. Maybe the guy knew who I was. Maybe he could see that. I couldn't see him until afterward. Because it was like the first 10 seconds of the game were just running at full speed towards each other. But I doubt it. I think he just unloaded on me. And I'm not saying he did that on purpose. What I'm saying is that's how they play. And so I greatly appreciated the fact that no one did play that way this game, or this day. So that was nice.
The only time I got multiple balls shot at my body was when I ran.
A-Dog did have a very nice move.
I was in the middle. I was completely in the open. And he apologized for that and felt that. And I was like, I knew paint was coming at me. Like, I don't feel he overshot me. I don't feel that he tried to light me up. He was playing the game. I was wide open. And there were shots that did not break. The only one that broke was the one he had me in the mask with. So he was playing the game. I wasn't angry at him. I didn't think he overshot me. But that was the only instance where I had multiple balls flying at me.
So, in a short, abbreviated version of this, winning or losing doesn't make the day. The players and the staff, in my opinion. And I don't mean staff as in refs, although that's a big part of it. That's not all of it. I also mean staff as in whoever is in control of the day, how it's running, and who wrote it, and put all the pre-production into it. That all matters a lot, too. Excuse me 1 second. I gotta make sure I put this together right.
To mention this event, which is at Bad Company, owned by Tim Toy, who played the event and was completely out of it. He told the top ref, who I'll go into in a second, you have to make the judgment calls. I can't be a part of it. It's got to be your final word. And I thought he stayed completely out of it. There were a couple rules that he made sure were enforced, or that he clarified that when people had questions. But other than that, you didn't hear from him all day in regards to the organization of the tournament. He was very, very impartial. Yeah, that's it. But him and Karen, I think, are wonderful people. I think it's great that Karen goes out there and takes photos, and she takes wonderful photos. Because it's hard shooting while people are moving. It's not an easy job to take a picture when someone is moving. Now, I know she has a very nice camera to do that, but to capture some really good shots of movement, I think is difficult. I don't know, you're more of the photographer, film person than I am.
It can very much be a large challenge. And it gets easier as you know what you're doing. She has a lot of practice. But, yeah, it's definitely not the easiest thing in the world.
And then their normal ref staff, I think, is very good. The only one I know by name is Joe. There's a lot of Joes.
That's the only one you know by name?
That's the only one that I know who's
You sure?
on the regular staff, yes.
You sure about that?
No, I'm not sure about
I'm
that.
pretty sure I know the one that starts with a D,
Oh, him.
ends with an N.
Yeah, but he didn't play.
He did
I mean,
play.
he didn't ref.
Ah, he didn't ref that day, that's true.
He's
But
never,
he's still on the
okay,
staff.
so Dalton is also on the staff. I know him by name too. Marion James kind of ran the back show. James was head ref. This is what I enjoyed about James, is that as the day went on, you just saw him get kind of frustrated and like he looked mad, and I was like, James, you want to play, don't you? And he's like, yeah, I do. I'm over this. I just want to play. So I thought that was funny. That like I could tell that he just wanted to put a gun in his hand and play. He just wanted to shoot. Probably Joe Kristen.
There you go, Pup.
And he
This is
couldn't.
much quieter.
And I think it annoyed him. But I thought everything went very smoothly and no incidences, and I had
Indeed.
fun. For
Indeed.
losing, I had a lot of fun.
So it was a good day, and as we mentioned before, Bad Company is not the biggest field in the world by any means, but for this particular type of event, it's perfect, pretty much. I wouldn't quite go as far as say perfect, but it's very, very good, because it's a big enough field, but it's also small enough. I would say that probably the size of the field, a 3-man would be like the.
Yeah, I think a
Optimal.
3-man would.
I think a 3-man would be optimal for it. But 2 is not bad by any means. You could even do a 5-man tournament without much trouble. But it'd be a little squeezed. 2-man is pretty darn good, but it's a little too big for that. So I think a 3-man actually would be just about perfect. But he puts a lot of work into it. It's clean.
It always changes.
Yeah, he alters it a little bit. He tries to keep it as even as possible. And most of the time he has birthday parties there. So he really doesn't need any more than he has, but it works out really well for a tournament like this. And
There's just.
the only downfall, I would say, and I mentioned this to him, I did, was there is a definite misconnect between where the staging is and where the actual field is. It's far enough apart that you can't even yell to each other very well. Like if you had a megaphone, you could probably hear. But so if you're down there getting air or refilling paint or anything like that, and you get called, you may or may not realize it. They do their best. They certainly shout and they walk over there and try to shout. But there was at least 1 or 2 times where we had moved from the round we were in to the next round. We weren't up yet, luckily, but I walked back up there. I meandered my way back up there and found out that like, hey, we're up. We're in 2 rounds, which could be as little as like 2 or 3 minutes from now. 2 or 3 games. Because we had moved on, and there was supposedly an 8-minute break between each round.
They added that though.
They did. That's after round 1.
So again, I think it was after round 2.
Round 1.
Okay. And again, I know you're not a big fan. I've talked about this with Xavier's games. That when something's not working or you feel something needs to take place, they do it right away. Now, they're not changing the structure of the tournament, but there wasn't like a misstep. There was, okay, we're having communication issues. We're going to add an 8-minute break between each round. We have that time. And it just went smoothly. And I appreciate that. That you don't wait until the next tournament to change something, or you don't wait until the next game. You stop and you fix what needs to be fixed. If it's a quick fix right now, I know with tournaments, you have to have a game structure to make everything fair, so you can't change the way a game is structured. But you should... I think that's what makes Xavier going to be a good producer, and I think what makes Tim a good producer is that they will change something and adapt to something to make it better at that moment. Hey, Coco!
Welcome. You can't come and say, what are you guys talking about, when you missed the first 41 minutes.
We participated in a tournament. We're talking about the tournament, and that just because we didn't place very high, we still had a lot of fun.
Right.
Summary.
Basically, in a nutshell, had fun, didn't do well. I think we played well. We just didn't rank very high.
Yeah, I think ranking high and playing well, I think we played well. We could have played better, obviously, but I don't think that we played bad.
I made probably 2 or 3 really, not really stupid, but in hindsight, I should absolutely not have done them. In the moment, it made some sense what I was trying to do, but I should have made better choices on these 2 or 3. There was one against Band of Brothers where I went. It's not that I went too far forward; it's that I went to the wrong spot, and it was behind these barrels that are stacked on top of each other, and I knew full well you could shoot through them, and I specifically told Ada, try to avoid this at all costs, and that's where I went. And sure enough, they shot me through the barrels. That was stupid.
I messed up on that game as well, and that's why we lost that game. Because instead of going to the top, I saw him move, and I didn't think I was going to make it. And instead of just running, and if he would have got me out, he would have got me out, I was right behind you. And then when you got out, I had nothing else to do besides move forward and try to do something. And then paint was raining on me.
Yeah, I was wondering why you were where you were.
No, I made a horrible mistake. And then when we even though we won this game, when we played Parents,
What are you doing, love?
I had moved, and I knew where she was, and I was popping up, and I stuck my barrel out. And when I pulled my barrel back in, there was paint on it. And
Are you sure that was a break and not a splatter?
But I asked the ref, I was like, ref, is this a paint head? And he said yes. So it was his judgment call. I wasn't going to cheat, but that also was a stupid move. And looking back on it, the game that I went for the flag for, there was a minute left. Instead of grabbing the flag and trying to, I guess, get him out, I grabbed the flag, kept shooting, and ran. And we tied instead of winning that game. And then the game where you got one out and you moved, and I didn't hear you go grab the flag.
What are you saying you should have done instead?
If I would have got behind a bunker, I could have got him out and would have just kept the flag.
Potentially.
Yes, potentially. But you and I talked about that.
That I said you could have done that differently.
Yes.
That doesn't mean what you did was wrong. I probably would have done the same thing. Because if it had worked, now it didn't work, but if it had worked, you would have gotten the flag and got him out and got the hang. It just turned out that he got you, But there wasn't enough time or he didn't make it in time to get the hang, and certainly didn't get the pull, so it ended up in a tie. So I wouldn't say that was a stupid move. It was just
No.
it just didn't work.
And then the other one is when I didn't grab the flag and I should have.
Yeah, that one's true.
That was dumb.
You should have grabbed the flag.
I should have grabbed the flag. I don't know why I didn't. That was probably the stupidest.
When I yelled to you, go grab the flag.
Yeah, I know.
You ignored me.
I didn't hear you. I'm sorry. But at least I admit that was dumb. That and the game we played about Band of Brothers were my two just dumb moves.
Yeah. So my dumb were, like I said, Band of Brothers. The other one was against Dalton. It was against Dalton and Badie. That's true. So Coco said that it's about taking a breath, think of where the pain is coming. Patience can help win a game, and aggression can too. That is absolutely true. You're not wrong. And I think, particularly against Dalton and Badie, I did not slow down the way I should have.
You wanted to shoot Dalton in the face.
I wanted to shoot Dalton in the face, but so on that one, again, I moved up to a place I shouldn't have. What I should have done... So I wanted to try to use the same tactic against Dalton as I had done against Joe that worked so well against Joe. And apparently I did hit Dalton. He said I hit him in the right place and it made him black out for a second, which is pretty cool, but it didn't break. So at that point he got to where he needed to go, and what I should have done was moved over to a more defensive position and let him come at me. That's what my plan had been. But instead of moving sideways, I moved a little farther up, because that's kind of what I'm used to doing. But that was a bad position because then they were both shooting at me. So I moved up and over one more, which was slightly better, but just not good enough. And they ended up getting me. And then A-Dog did what she could. She did get Badie out, but then Dalton got her out, and they ended up winning that game. And then against 10,000 something Sundays, they were probably the least experienced of the group. And I remember saying to A-Dog, don't let that go to our heads. We still need to play the game correctly to win. We ended up tying them. And I would attribute the main reason to not stupidity on my part. Actually, it was just well played by them and unfortunateness for us. And I don't know if maybe you could have done something differently to help. I don't know. I don't know exactly where you were compared to them, but I was exchanging with the guy at the top, and I know there were definitely some moments where I should have hit him and didn't, so that's definitely on me. I moved at one point, he didn't realize I moved, he was still shooting at the other place, I shot at him, he was perfectly open and I missed. That's definitely on me, I don't know how I did that. But then he realized where I was, he started, he was shooting at me, and then the guy at the bottom of the hill was at a bunker that didn't have a shot on me. I knew very well, we could shoot at each other, but not very well. At some point, he did manage to move and got a much better shot on me, a line on me, and was keeping me in close to the bunker. And I exposed my back a little bit, and the guy at the top got me in the pack. So that was a combination of good job on his part and how the hell did I miss? Yeah. So.
And to answer Nick Coco's question. Two-man tournament at Bad Company in Indiana, PA. I was trying to keep him pinned down because I knew where the guy at the bottom was because of where I was, because I was in the bottom on the other side.
And once he...
Ow, Loki!
I do, I guess I just came to me. He was behind those white barrels. We had talked about just unloading paint until you got him. Why didn't you do that?
I did do that. I unloaded a lot of paint on him.
And it just didn't work?
He wasn't behind those white barrels.
He was at first, and then he moved.
I caught him on the move.
What do you mean you caught him on the move?
I saw him move, and then he kept bobbing his head up and down, and I just laid paint at him.
Behind the white barrels?
Not behind the white barrels, behind the sticks.
Well, then, because I did call that he was behind the white barrels, you must not have heard me. And then he moved, and that's when he started taking me.
Okay, well, that's when I started taking him. That's... Because I shot at him. I don't remember.
She doesn't remember.
I tried really hard that game, and now I just feel dumb.
Why?
Because apparently it's my fault that you got out.
I didn't say that. Did I say that?
No, you didn't.
Did I say that, guys? Did I say it was her fault?
No, that was my one glory moment. And I told you, I was like, I'm done. You can't blame me, whatever position we get into. You can't blame me.
That was not your one glory moment. Your one glory moment was when you ran for the flag and got it. He says, no, I didn't say that.
Okay.
Thank you, insurance salesman. But yeah, so that was a good event. Now this weekend, D-Day is coming up.
Coco, you coming to that?
Yeah, Coco, will you be there? My guess is no, he won't be there.
Unless he's reffing it. Are you reffing it, Coco?
He ain't gonna be there, reffing or playing. He ain't gonna be there. But so this year, well, yes, I know you will because you asked me for about 8 different things. And it's all packed. You're welcome.
I wonder if Peter Pan had this problem.
I don't get it.
Never mind.
I don't get it.
With the needy children that he...
He was a needy child too.
Not as needy as the other ones.
How do you know?
You can tell in the movie.
He was pretty needy. He always needed help with his damn shadow. He was very attached
He was
to that
also
shadow.
a woman's... Like, he was... I don't know.
He was a woman?
Tink is a cougar, though, apparently.
Anyway, back onto the subject. On Saturday is D-Day. So this will be the first year ever that we're going to be American at any
D-Day event?
D-Day event. So Coco said probably already understand, but when you play 2v2, always cross up. But when is it? Depends on the date and money I may. Oh, this. So yes, we actually most of the time we did do a cross. So that we already knew that, and that's how we played, and that's how we did it. Most of the time, we tried something different on one game.
Against the Band of Brothers, and it failed.
Yeah, well, yes. So that one did fail. And yes, it is this Saturday. So this Saturday we have D-Day, but it's the first time we're playing America at any D-Day event. So we've played 4 D-Days up till now. And we've played Germany each time. We played Mayon, where that was Mission Master Zion, and we were German. And we've played Ion for 3 years now. And we've always been German at that. So this is the first time we're going to be coming out of the boats. And so that's nice. It's the first time in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's the first time in like 5 events of D-Day that we won't be in some sort of command.
No command. And you know what? It's been wonderful.
Not having to command?
Not having to, like...
It's been atrocious for me.
I know, because you want to tell people what to do. And you have plans, and nobody will take your plans.
It's not that I want to tell people what to do, although I like doing that. That's true. I'll do that anyway. It doesn't matter. You don't do that till the day of. It's been bad for me for 2 reasons. One is... I would say there's 3 reasons. 2 of them are very linked, though. The one reason is that I like planning for events in general ahead of time. Well, thanks, Jake. I appreciate that. I like planning for them in general. So I think of strategies and how to win and what we should do and what they'll do and how do we counteract that. And I plan all that in my head. But so I've done all that since last year. Since we decided we weren't going to General German, I've been thinking about it, how to be American this year. And so now we're there, and I have plans, and the General don't want to hear it. It's very sad. So I've got plans, and I have no one that I don't want to say no one that matters, but like no one it's going to.
You can't tell somebody that actually has
power
in charge,
right? Until he did say we'll talk about it the morning of, but like by then, is it really enough time to like truly think about it and implement it and go back and forth with ideas and stuff? It's just way too late. So those two are kind of linked together, where truly no one will listen, and I like planning it. And then the other reason is I can't remember. I can't remember what the third one was. Do you remember? No, she can't remember. But it.
You spend months. You lay in bed, and you wake up at 2:00 in the morning because you're all excited about Ion, or you're all excited about D-Day, and implementing your plan, and running the beach, and shooting and pew-pewing everybody. And you can't do that now. And
oh, I remember what it was.
You're welcome.
The other reason is that of all of the scenarios we regularly play, and I'm even counting Mission Masters in there, even though they're not usually repeated, they're the same game style. D-Day in Pittsburgh is the one we can most plan for.
That's true.
As far as gameplay goes, because every Mission Masters, while it has the same overall flow to it, each mission is different, each game is different, and they keep secrets. You have a title and you have the general idea of it, but you don't know what you're supposed to be doing, where it's going to be, all that stuff. At Ion, it's always the same, but we're relatively low ranked, and by that I mean very low ranked. So we have no real input on how it works, and that goes as far as knowing exactly what the missions are and will be, all the way to like even if we say something, it's not going to matter to anybody. But this one is plenty small enough that we have a say, and especially when she's generaling, and it's the same every year, almost exactly the same every year, and so we know how the game works and how the field is and what the missions will be and how you do them, more or less, and so we can actually think of ideas and then implement them on the field, and not being able to do that is really annoying. It really just bugs me, and I don't like it. But for her, I haven't been bugging her about it really, because what's the point? I try to just keep the thoughts to my head, because what's the point in talking about them? Are you gonna do that while we're live on the internet?
Sorry, I'm having toe issues.
And so she doesn't have to worry about that, and she also doesn't have to worry about the angst of I gotta win now because she's competitive.
I don't have to worry about anything but showing up and going.
How'd that go?
Choo-choo. And I like that.
One more time.
Choo-choo.
Speaking of which, do you want to use my phone instead of the camera? Because it will take pictures faster. The pictures won't be as good, but they take faster, therefore it will be less blurry.
I can do that.
She has trouble with the camera we generally use, because she has to hold it still for like 2 seconds, and she likes to move it, and then everything gets blurry. So, but yeah, so it's very for a strategist like myself, it's very annoying not being able to talk to the general about what I think we should do, or at least try.
This is my qualm, and we talked about this earlier today. I don't know why he doesn't want to take your advice. Even if he doesn't use it. Why he doesn't go to you, this is what I'm thinking. This is my plan. Did you have a plan? Or you know that you have teams. Dan, this is what I want you to be in charge of. Go do it. By talking to him, he knows how many people we're bringing with us and who's going to be on our team. And even if he doesn't know our skill level, to not use teams to your advantage and keeping everything so close guarded to your chest, you're not going to win. You're not going to win by demanding and not listening to people. That's from one general to another. A general who kicked your ass twice.
I wouldn't say kicked his ass, but we won.
I kicked his ass the first
That's true.
first,
The first
year
year we
we
kicked
kicked
his
his
ass.
ass. The second year we did not, but he had Smiley.
But we won.
We won, so it doesn't matter.
I would say, if for no other reason, let's say that we even lost the last 2 years. We didn't win. Let's say we lost against him. For me personally, if I now had the general, who while lost was the general for the last 2 years, the opposing team, he's now on my team. I'd ask him what they, what did you do? What were your plans? These are what I'm thinking. What would you have done as the general of that team to, if I had done this? Or could this easily be fought against if we did this? I would pick the brain of the ex-general.
Yeah.
Now, keeping in mind that we did win both times, it's even more, why wouldn't you talk to the commanders of the team, of the opposing team that are now on your team for the last 2 years that you've lost against? I don't understand why you wouldn't do that.
Also, gameplay doesn't change. We implemented stuff that we knew was going to be there because we played it. If anything changes, it's little notions that, in the big scheme of things, aren't ridiculously important to the game. I think we used strategy and understanding of the missions that happened the year prior to help us win last year. So because we know the German plan and what the structure of Germany is, I don't know why you wouldn't pick our brains.
That's what you said.
Yes. I just don't understand. Also, knowing you, and maybe I know you way too well because I'm with you all the time and I am married to you, but I know how your brain works when it comes to trying to strategize when we play Risk, when we do anything.
But he doesn't know any of that.
Yes, I understand that, but hence me saying, because I know you so well, but all you have to do is talk to you for 5 seconds and you know that you're some strategist who likes everything about making a strategy to win a game. 5 seconds with the man and you know this.
Apparently 5 seconds with me and you know that. And so basically the ideas I've come up with, I have 3 main ideas that I feel those 3 alone would win the game. Now, that's not saying that, without working the rest of the day, without doing what we need to do the rest of the day, we would win. That's not true. We'd still have to work throughout the rest of the day. But if we did these 3 things and then just played the game, as we should, that we would win. I truly believe that. And I could be missing something. It's very possible. But unless I have someone to, talk it over with, particularly someone that would mean I could talk to A-Dog about it. It wouldn't mean anything because what would it matter? What would it matter?
I'm not even playing, so I have absolutely no power. But that's...
And so, and actually, in theory, at least 2 of these 3 things, Dune and I can do. We can do without anyone else. Theoretically, we can implement them pretty easily without any involvement of the rest of the whole team. As far as order, actually, the first one, that one we actually need the whole team to implement, or at least a significant portion of the team to implement.
Your beach plan?
Yeah, the plan for the beach. I can say that without saying what the tactic is. It's the beach plan. That one we need pretty much the whole team, or at least most of the team, to know what the plan was and follow it for it to work. We can't just do that as the 6 or 7 of us. The other 2 we could do, I think, pretty easily. It wouldn't work as well without the whole team, but we could still do it. But yeah, if we did these 3 things and then played the game, even just not half-heartedly, but it's not balls to the wall the rest of the day. I truly believe we'd win pretty easily. But doesn't mean a damn thing.
What confuses me is so not knowing who you are and not knowing your strategy, but knowing how many scenarios you've played and how many just pure D-days we have played.
He may not know that either. He does know we've done three Pittsburgh D-days. That alone would do it.
Yeah.
But he doesn't know about all the other ones.
Well, I'm not even talking about Ion. Like, I don't know, if you follow any paintball on Facebook, I don't know how you wouldn't know just purely how many things you've done. Not how good you are. Just how many paintball events you've gone to. I don't understand why you wouldn't take the advantage of saying, hey, this is my strategy. Do you see a hole?
There's one thing I've thought of that I think is a potential reason why he wouldn't ask, and I wouldn't ask anyone else. Now there's like an immediate, well, that null and void to it, but this is a thought he could have. So they don't really split the teams until the day of. And a lot of times one side, particularly the American side, is way higher and they have to switch teams around. And in fact, Dunedain has had to switch sides on more than one occasion because of that. So maybe he's worried if he talks plans with us and then the day of comes and we have to switch sides, uh-oh. That's a good point. Except it immediately becomes null and void in that we would say we can't switch sides. We've talked to the general about the strategy. It wouldn't be fair.
Yeah.
And then we would just stay and they'd have to switch somebody else.
Also, I can't. I cannot go into battle for the German general. And I can't have Dunedain do it either. Sorry. Put my foot down. As AC. No.
She put her foot down.
Put my foot down.
It's still in the air, but
No, I got this foot. Here.
That foot has been down.
That foot's down.
You didn't put it down. It's
Okay,
been
then
down.
I'll put that foot down.
There you go. Now it's down. Now the foot is down. But anyway, so hopefully it'll be a good day anyway. I mean, it'll be a good day anyway. I do like Mission Masters better, as we've said many times. This game is pretty much the same every time. I think really the only reason I'm going is because I want to try coming out of the boats. That's really it. And then if I'm going to go for the boats, I'm going for the whole thing. I'm not just going for the boats. I know a lot of people do that. I think that's stupid. I'm going for the whole day. I paid to be there. I'm playing the whole thing. I want to win. And I'm not sure even they're even doing it next year. Like, if we knew for sure they were doing it next year, we would make sure we put our names in to be American General next year, and we would implement my plans at that point. But the Mike, who does 60 at Caliber, actually specifically told me he's not sure they'll have another year of this. So
I'm sure it's a lot of money for them to go there. I don't know how much money, if you're looking at it as a profitable thing. The first year we were there were 100 people. Now it dwindled, as it always does.
There were more than 100.
There were more than 100. By the end of
I'd
the
say
day,
it's 150.
By the end of the day, there was 100. Or at least 90, because I proposed to you in front of 90 people.
By last year, there were 45-ish on each team.
Like, they had to redo the teams at one point. I think this was after lunch.
And I would not switch teams midday. That would just be awful.
Because there were not enough people. And I think it was down to less than 40 on each side. It might have been 40.
I remember specifically, there were huge gaps in the line. And there was nothing we could do about it. There literally weren't people to plug the holes. That was the problem. Like, it wasn't people packed up in one place. People were spread out. There just was not enough people.
The issue is that everybody spends all their money on the beach. And then after the beach, they're tired and they have no supplies. So, but still, they go on. And then at lunchtime, they're completely done. They've now gotten wasted because they drink alcohol instead of water, Gatorade, or Pedialyte. and then they go.
Pedialyte?
I heard.
That's what you choose.
Yes, because I heard when I was at
Well, in
Ion.
any case.
Anyway, that's,
In any case.
and then they're done. So they're still out in the parking lot tailgating. I'm trying to win a battle.
Well, anyway, my point is that if we can't. Basically, my point is if we don't implement my plans this year, I don't think we're ever going to. So that's another reason it's disappointing to me.
We would have read our own D-Day, but then you wouldn't be able to do your
Then I couldn't play it anyway. But that's pretty much all I got for the night. You have anything else?
I do not.
So unless anybody has anything, I'll give it like 2 minutes here for anyone to say anything that they might want to say, any questions or any comments. But yeah, so going to play D-Day this weekend. It should be a good time. They're probably the last D-Day. Then we have Ion.
So I am the next event.
After that, unless we go to Seven Flags event, yes, Ion is the next one. So the big one. The big one.
There's still no plans. There's still no map. There's still no missions. There's still no
I know. I'm well aware of that.
So, as a commander, I got nothing. I can't even tell you secrets because there are none.
Aren't any secrets to be
There's
told.
no secrets.
Supposedly, the higher ups have some plans. They just won't tell anybody else what said plans
I'm sure
are.
they all have plans.
Well, it seems that no one has anything to say. So I will say good night to all y'all, and by all y'all I mean the 1.5 people that are here. So see you guys next week. Wait. So Jake said, "Can I be a ref or?"
For what?
I'm confused by that question. That's not a real question. Oh, yes, you're expected to be.
Yes.
You will be a ref. There's no can.
Yeah.
You will be a ref. Every Dunedain member is expected to be there.
So if you got work, call off now, because October 5th, all the Dunedain people.
Yeah,
all
so
the Dunedain people.
any other
all the
Dunedain
people.
that may watch this at some point, you should already know this. October 5th is Mario. As of right now. Unless something weird happens. And you're all expected to be there. You are expected to be refs. And otherwise staff the event. Keep that in mind. If you're not there, there's going to be some trouble.
And if you don't want to dress up in a costume,
then you're stupid, but whatever.
TDB, I need your ass at P3 October 5th. All day.
Alrighty, good night.
Good night.